9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's beautiful.
What is up? What is going on? We are back here with another episode breakdown of Peacemaker. We didn't get to do them when they came out because somebody wasn't around.
Someone had to go ahead and decide to go on vacation. You know what? It's probably not going to happen for another year.
It's all good, but we are back to talk about these two episodes. First off, Brian, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
You know, 1/3 of Spoiler Kings. We go live Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturday nights. On Saturday mornings, right here on the Rewind with Anzo. It is so cool. It's so good. You guys got to be there in the morning, dude. Enjoy have the fun. We're gonna go on rants. We're gonna go on topics. We'll talk about what you guys are talking about. You're involved in this. So just gotta come in. It's like Saturday morning cartoons. Let's go. Get your cereal bowl and let's have a good time.
Absolutely, 100%. What up, Cousin T? What up, LDG? Sent you a message on Twitter, LDG. Let me know if everything's cool. Episode 8 felt like season 3. Everything just wrapped up too easy for me. Yeah, we're definitely going to get into that because it didn't just wrap up.
Did it wrap up? I was like,
it wrapped up like trash. That's what that was to me.
But did it even wrap up? I don't know if they even tried to wrap anything up. They just said, till next season. Oh, well, there's not going to be a next season. What?
Facts. And it's funny because I watched a video where I didn't even know that. I'm guessing James Gunn had to address it, you know, saying, well, I guess not everything is for everybody, but bro, you know what you did, man. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of people are complaining. It's like, oh, we didn't get any cameos. That's not the reason why I'm complaining about it. It had nothing to do with there being no cameos or special cameos or anything. That it was just like nothing happens.
You didn't like the two music videos?
Absolutely not.
you didn't like the fact that like the story, they could have done so much more with the story and they just decided not to. There's like, all right, the end.
Yeah, that's it. Hey guys, we're gonna give you a little cliffhanger at the end, but this cliffhanger isn't gonna get resolved until God knows when, right?
Well, I mean, we could talk about it because I was just talking about it yesterday. What if James Gunn? What if Warner Brothers is sold?
Mm-hmm.
And Supergirl does poorly.
Mm-hmm.
And then they fire James Gunn and we never get any resolution to any of this stuff.
Yeah, that could be an issue. That could definitely be a problem, right? If that happens. At the end of the day, man, I just think, and I said it before, I don't really think James Gunn was the right one to head the universe. And then he brought out his lineup, and then his lineup seemed kind of suspect to me. You know what I mean? And then we saw the movies, and now the movies are starting to be suspect to me. And then we see the show, and this season of the show is starting to be suspect to me. So it doesn't really look that great going forward.
Well, I look at Superman. Superman made $615 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
Supergirl is like lesser Superman. No matter what you say, the storyline sounds good. You're gonna have Jason Momoa, but it looks like lesser Superman. So if that if that movie comes out and does Shazam numbers, James Gunn's in trouble.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like that's what I'm saying about the lineup. Why is Supergirl next? Okay,
why would you not go to Holy Trinity?
Right, and I'm saying it. Okay, so the Batman's coming out. So okay, so let's say we can't do the Batman. You do Wonder Woman.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Then 2 years later, you do Batman, right? Doesn't have to be Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. You could do Superman, Wonder Woman,
Batman. Exactly. 100%. There's 3 of the top 5 characters ever created.
And you're doing Supergirl. You gave us Creatures Commandos. I get it. The Lanterns are coming out. That's good because they're a part of the Justice League. So Lanterns is a good choice for a TV series. I would have preferred a movie, but for a TV series, I get that. But when you're coming to the rest of the slate, it just doesn't make sense to me.
When you're trying to start a universe, you need to go with your big hitters, you know, and you need to make sure if it's not a star-studded lineup, then you have to go great storylines, right?
100%.
And I'm too worried because James Gunn likes to go with B-list characters. He likes to go with obscure characters, and that might not be good enough for a foundation of a studio, and
100%.
that's what I think he's running into. I think that's what he's going to run into with Supergirl. And if Warner Brothers is sold, he's not going to finish his contract. I'm just going to tell you, because if you come out with Supergirl and doesn't make the money it's supposed to make, we're in trouble. That's just what it is.
I agree.
You know, and it could be even a good story with Supergirl. It could be a great story with Supergirl and Jason Momoa and all that stuff, and still not make money.
Now the problem is we got a taste of Supergirl in the Superman movie, and a lot of people did not like what they did with her. So now if they go balls out in the movie with that, you know what I mean?
It's already
gonna
done.
Turn people off. Yeah, so it's gonna turn people off already. So you got to be very careful which water you're treading right now. And to me, honestly, like I've said many times, like you got to have the big three first, right? Marvel couldn't do it. They didn't have the big three. So they had to start with Iron Man. But Iron Man was the perfect choice to start with.
Then they star-studded people. You remember what's going on? Terrence Howard was coming off a big Hustle and Flow was huge. You know, he was coming off all this stuff. He was a star. Robert Downey Jr. was a star beforehand. Then had drug problems. That he had his career was already started though. You already knew who Robert Downey Jr. was.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. I'm sorry, Terrence Howard was the highest paid on that set. It was him. He got the most money on that set. Terrence Howard, because he was the biggest star that they had right at the time. And that's not saying much because he was the biggest star in that movie, but in the long run, like, you know what I mean? He was still not an A-list actor at the time.
He was coming off a Hustle and Flow. So he was coming off a big movie. So they're going off of that. And then Robert Downey Jr., that most people didn't want, was actually was a good move because he had the name recognition too.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
When you look at Millie Alcock, there's no way that you can say Millie Alcock is on the level of Robert Downey Jr. If you're going to go with a B or C list character, you need to go with strong actors that you know are going to bring something to it.
100%. So it's funny. We had a question: is it doomed to fail? And it seems like, man, if it doesn't pick up, it will.
It might.
You know what I mean? So. But episode 7, which we'll start off with, starts off with the flashback, and we find out about Peacemaker. But that's all that stuff that we really know. Right? But
I don't know, man. This is a good episode.
This was a good episode, 100%. But we didn't get so for this, they showed this flashback, but we didn't get no new information about it. Like, I guess they just decided to show it again. I don't know.
It's just reminding you. So he lost his brother Keith, and that's going to shape what's going to happen in this episode.
Absolutely. So then we get to the start of the episode, and we do have Peacemaker and Vigilante, and they're having a little conversation here.
I didn't. Did you see that thing? It looked like it fell out of my fucking vagina. Do I look like the type of guy to stay up all night collaging Jupiters and aliens and shit to put on the front of my fucking diary?
First impressions, I'd have said no, but after getting to know you a little bit, I got to admit it's definitely something I can see.
The reason why I show that part is because I think that's the kind of Taika Waititi stuff that I don't like, where he goes through, and he does it a little bit more in the episode, where it's like the banter just kind of like it's silly banter to me, like really, really silly. Like you have silly banter, but then you go a little bit too far and you have real silly banter, and I think that's where it's getting for me. What are your thoughts, though?
I don't mind banter. I don't like when you try and joke tell. You're telling jokes, or you're doing a very serious moment, and then you try to break the ice with something stupid. That's what that really bothers me. When you have a great storytelling moment, and then you try to break the ice with something stupid. I hate this. Isn't this season 1? Because I remember that, because that's like season. Because episode.
I think that is season 1. There we go.
So I
what the hell's going on there? Right? That doesn't seem right.
It's like it was Keith, which is interesting that how it matches up with season 1, because both were about Keith.
Yeah, that is correct. And
I would have noticed that. I mean, that you did that right there.
Yeah, that's interesting. But it's, I mean, at the end of the day, some of it was done well, like I said, especially with this episode, right? because I guess we start off here with the two vigilantes and they're having
Mhm.
a conversation, and
You hear
we
about
go
the
back
Nazi
to
won World War II.
yes, yes. Yes, and we already found out that pretty much that, the vigilante here is a Sons of Liberty, so he's one of the good guys, and
Mhm.
he's fighting the Nazi world, which is very interesting. And we find out, of course, Peacemaker is a part of that Nazi world. But basically, we have economists tied up. We have him talking to Peacemaker's father, and they're still chasing Adebayo, where she gets saved by a judo master,
Judomaster.
and he
Mhm.
pretty much electrocutes every single body in
Man,
that
woman,
pool.
and child in that pool. He did not care. He was like, he knew that how racist they were, and he didn't care about. Hey, you gonna be racist? Jagoffs, you get what you
Hmm.
deserve. Sorry.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that was perfect. They died the way they were supposed to die. You know.
You ever wonder why they didn't tell Adebayo or what's her name Danielle Brooks to wear like sports bra?
No, we know why they didn't do that. You need to see them things juggling up. So
Oh
she,
man,
she she gets saved by Judo Master. Then we see Peacemaker and Harcourt pretty much having a little action scene trying to get out of the Argus office. I thought it was pretty good. I definitely liked the action scene. What did you think?
oh, it was great. I think all this entire part was so spot on. And
Yeah.
seeing him on the motorcycle, the peace cycle, whatever it was, I think that was awesome.
Hmm.
And then even this idea what's going on with Keith and the White Dragon, or I think his name's Auggie, because that's
Hmm.
Peacemaker's dad, was
Hmm.
very interesting. And the fact that
Absolutely.
Keith was doing all that stuff, and Augie said, "No, get here now."
Hmm. And it's funny too because we kind of called what happened, but it happened in a different way, right? I had no idea that these guys were not actually Nazis in this world, but it does make
Is
sense that
Keith?
he would do that.
I feel like Keith kind of still was.
Um, I
Remember,
don't think he.
because remember he
I
was
don't.
honking the horn. One of them got out. It's a
Yeah,
black. It's a black. It is him.
yeah. He did do that, but I think at the same time, I think they're just playing the role, right? They're just doing what they have to do to survive, because it's not like when they got into the room and Adebayo was there, he like tried to he was just strictly on Peacemaker before killing his brother. You know what I mean? Like he didn't care that the black woman was in there.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't that sometimes the problem is the person that doesn't say anything? They're so okay with going along with the problem. I understand Augie
Mhm.
saying I'm just gonna try to do good, but it didn't seem like Keith was that way. Because Augie, if he was in that situation, I think he would just drove off and
You
left
know,
and
you
not
know
done
what's
anything.
funny? I think Peacemaker was the one that wasn't that way, right? I think Augie was a little bit maybe in between the lines, but I think Peacemaker was full out Nazi, embraced it and
Mhm.
everything, right? The Peacemaker in this world. That's
Yep.
why when the father talks about what kind of a asshole your brother was, and right, really didn't have really kind things to say about him. So I think Peacemaker was more of the let's do it. This is the Nazi type than the brother.
I still blame if you're anyone who's accepting of it, because it didn't seem like Augie was the one who's accepting of it. It was Keith that was accepting of the way the world was, and then
Hmm.
more
Hmm.
willing to go and say, "Hey, no, we need to go chase them down," and I'm gonna tell all these people to come get them. I don't feel like it was Augie that did that. I feel like Keith was not necessarily a good person, personally, and this felt very much like a villain birth. You know,
It
when you get
definitely
those
was.
super villains, this is exactly the
Yeah.
kind of story you get right, with him.
No. This was definitely a villain. But that's why I think it's more impactful if you have him to where he's on the line, right? Where you don't know if he's Nazi or not, and then all the stuff that happens puts him over the edge to be that super villain. But I do agree with you, even though I don't think he was full on Nazi, he still, and so did the father, they still complied, right? They still did. And the power that they have, they were able to actually try to make changes, maybe join the Sons of Liberty and stuff like that, but they didn't do that. They went along with the status quo. They went along with what everybody else was doing, right? So that
So
kind of
you're
makes them.
thinking you think Keith and Augie are the same then? And I
I,
don't. I think Augie. is more on the side of I will do whatever I do to fight injustice, but I can't fight the world. And Keith is more like I'm built in this world. This is what I grew up in, and this is I think that what they're doing is right. I think Keith likes the way the world is. I think Augie doesn't, and he's not going to. Like, remember, Keith wanted to arrest them and go get them, and Augie still wanted to let them go back to their world.
But that's what I'm. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think when it and you're right, but I do think when it comes to that, Augie is more like, I'm gonna do what my father wants me to do because
Keith is like that.
Keith does. I'm gonna do more what my father wants me to do because he does whatever his father tells him to. Like if he wanted to, he could have dusted them all right then and there. You know what I mean? I just think once the father died, there was no holding back for him, and it's like now I can do whatever I want to do. So he could be right. You could be right on that. So we get the conversation here, which we kind of discuss really, because we find out now that, he's not really a Nazi, but he's just doing what he has to do to survive. And he's saying, we got to make sure that we hide the porthole, nobody sees it, and we got to find these people. And then we have, Judomaster and
Adebayo
having that good conversation.
Interesting.
Yeah, go ahead.
That was really interesting between them. The way Judomaster said, I'm everything that's against this world. I'm gay. I'm a Buddhist. And I'm Asian. So I'm everything. I'm a minority and all those things. So they hate everything on me. And you're very much the same exact way. And they started to realize that they have a lot more in common than why they're on the opposite sides. There's no reason to be on the opposite sides because they're the same.
Absolutely, 100%. And that's what I said. I think this conversation, like you said, was important.
The books on the bookshelf, you don't want to be a minority here, or gay, or Buddhist, or anything I am, really. And also, Cheetos with an H on the end aren't nearly as good.
Now, one thing I know a lot of people were talking about is that they should have kind of played into more of what things would be like with no black people around. You know what I mean? And I think they didn't play with that enough. I think they're talking about they talk about rock and roll, and you wouldn't have rock and roll if it wasn't for black music, right? So I think that's kind of the things that some people are saying they should have looked into more. What do you think?
Actually, I like the way they did this because at the end of the day, I think something that Ad says, and she says, this world is not much different than the world we live in. And I think that should be the whole point of everything. You see how a racist world that the Nazis won is not much different than the world that we live in now. It's because you put the blinders. Just because we make it feel like it's okay, it's not much different.
I got you. Which is not, right? So I get all of that, but I just think that the way the world was, because the way they talk about it is that Hitler won the war. So you wouldn't have a lot of the things that black people have created, right? You wouldn't have that stuff.
Now, we don't know because it seems like they're in concentration camps and they could be working on a lot of these things anyway.
Yeah.
So you would have gotten, stoplights. You still would have had, of course you got the peanut. You have an open heart surgery. You still would have a lot of those things because
internet.
You would have that stuff still because it just would be our concentration camps because of these now. They're more prisoners in that situation. You still have it. They didn't kill them all.
Yeah, but we don't know, if they let them learn how to read, if they, you know what I mean? Like maybe they treated them like real slaves or that. So that's what I'm saying. I think they could have, that's why this episode should have been the last episode, right? And you could have took the last episode off right away because I was garbage and had a little bit more in this universe, right? Maybe you could show, like she says, it's not that much different. So you could show that it's different, but how it's not that much different. You know what I mean?
No, I think what you're saying is good for storytelling, but I don't think people want to hear that. They leaving it up to their imagination does more for you trying to say this world is very similar to this to our world, and all the incels that are doing all the same things think that same exact way, and that's a problem. Trying to show how the problematic stance of it instead of where it is.
Hunter Iggy, thank you for popping in. Said Bigger Ford Entertainment. Peacemaker. I think Peacemaker season 2 was about depression. That's what I think. So you 100%. This
Mhm.
season was a love story, kind of depression type of thing, right? Mixed up in a superhero show. Because
But it
this
was
is my
also about acceptance and you having your own accepting who you are. Because a lot of times
Mhm,
Chris is really down on himself. He calls himself, I'm the the creature of death, whatever. I'm that,
mhm.
and everyone around me is gonna, is going to fail because of who I am. And it's about acceptance of who you are, realizing that you are just because you're down on yourself doesn't mean that's what the truth is. And understanding it's almost felt like it's a wonderful life. Without you in this world, everything is worse.
Mm.
So that's
No,
kind of how I felt it
you
was
right.
that way.
You right. It's just
So
like nothing. It was like really when you have season, you can do all of this and have a villain. This show had no villain, right? You really look at it, it had no villain. It had
we
no,
had a
you know,
villain. People don't want to like what the villain.
technically we did, but you know what I mean? Like technically there wasn't no like, in the first season you had the butterflies, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
They had to take care of that. They had an actual villain where they had to fight villain in quotation, because were the butterflies really a villain? You know what I mean? Some of them were, but some of them were working for good. So I get the thing. I'm just saying in general, usually the shows, like any show, there's this main antagonist, and I don't think they had one in this season, right? I really don't think they do. I think this season was more focused on the connections between the 11th Street gang and all of that stuff. And, you know, like you said, Rick Flag having to
Was that
come
Rick
to
Flag?
terms.
Rick Flag Senior it becomes a
Yes,
villain
yes,
of
yes,
sorts.
yes, having to come
But it
to
takes
terms
long
with
for him to
his
become
son.
that villain. And
Yeah,
and
it just
sometimes you want to have a hero, you need to have a super villain, someone who's just
mhm,
bad just because. I mean, you
mhm.
can't use Lex Luthor along with Frank Rick Flag. I think it is hard. I kind of agree with what you're saying.
You know what I mean? So, well, we get to this part, which is this was dope because they get chased. Now, when they're driving, and this is another thing, she puts her head on Peacemaker's back. Now, this is the real Harcourt, but yet
Mhm.
at the end of, I think his next season or a minute, like he's like, "Oh, bro, you told me it was real." Listen, bro, you driving on a motorcycle, people chasing you, girl puts her head on your back like that. You know something's up. You don't need to ask that question anymore.
He wants to hear it from her mouth. He wants to know that she accepts it.
I get it, but you don't need to know. You know. You know what I mean? That's one of those are moves you know. You know what I mean? Like as a man, you know when they make that move, it's like, okay,
He
yeah,
has
I'm
low
good now.
self-esteem and he's depressed.
I get it. I'm just saying. So they get ambushed, but his father and his brother
Keith,
come and they rescue him. And
mhm.
not only do they rescue him,
They
they
kill
wipe
everybody.
out all of the cops, right? They wipe out every single one of them.
If that's
So
not
were
white
you
privilege, I don't know what is.
facts? And then we see a little bit more of it too. Wait, hold on. You're right, because we see a little bit more of it too when the cops come to the house. You know what I mean? So
No, I'm not going to go do that. Get out my house and close the door.
facts.
Let me
And
try
then
that.
they leave in, right? And only come back when they start to hear gunshots and shit. Bruh. Uh-uh. No, 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 no. Definitely, that's Nazi town. Because you can go on YouTube and try to see how that works out for us. It doesn't work out that well,
Oh
you know?
no, they'll be coming in right now if I
Facts.
did that.
Facts. You wouldn't even let you close the door. They put the foot in the door.
Yep.
Nope, we're not doing
Nope.
that. So I thought that scene was good. Then we have Rick Flag. I'm sorry, yeah, Rick Flag Senior. But we get the cameos where we
Mhm.
start to see people from Lex Luthor's crew,
Yep.
right? And he's like, "Why am I helping you?" And he says, "Well, Lex Luthor tells you." So basically, what they're trying to do is figure out where the portal is, and they find out that the portal that Peacemaker has is way more stable than anything that they ever had. And that's when they decide that they really need to get it. What were your thoughts on this? Because I know a lot of people were waiting for certain cameos, and when they didn't get them, this is where it starts to get people upset. So, what do you think?
once again, I had no problem with this in episode 7. I thought that it was fine the way they're going. I did not like the fact that they had brought so many people from Lex Luthor without having Lex Luthor. I thought that was kind of weird, but whatever. If this was going to do, I also think it left room for people to not like what was going to happen to Rick Flag Jr. I'm Senior. To really see him as an evil person, or even think that maybe Lex is even taking control of him.
Yeah.
So, but seeing Sasha with him at this point, I was still down.
Mm-hmm. What up, Collector Movie Man? Thank you for popping in. Much appreciated. I'm gonna say this because when I was watching you guys, I kind of like your theory that it might be Clayface or something like that, because his turn just way too quick.
It didn't make any sense in episode 8. It didn't make any sense.
You know what I mean? And then if that's the case to where it's not, then James Gunn, you're just doing another one of these stupid, not making sense just for the narrative of the show kind of thing. You know what I mean? He could have still done everything he did to Peacemaker. He didn't need to turn crazy and be all bad just like that, doing coke with them and everything, laughing while people are dying and shit. So I'm like, yeah, I hope there's some sort of change.
There's something wrong with Frank or Rick Flag right now. So that's something that's going to be a storyline. But I feel like too much of this stuff is too many storylines that are going to be in future episodes, future things. In the Clayface show, it's going to be probably something to do with this. And Supergirl is going to probably be something that happened here. All that stuff is just all future stuff. So like, then why are you promoting all this other future things instead of finishing the episode the way finishing the series? So it's not just a season, the series is finished.
Yeah. Said, hey Brian, I just popped in to tell you that I ordered the first book, Impossible Creatures.
Okay, that sounds good. And let me know how it is. Let me know how it goes, man.
100%. Looking forward to your guys' live stream tomorrow. Thank you, much appreciated. We definitely got a lot to talk about tomorrow. You know what I mean? So absolutely,
you're gonna like it, Collector.
Yeah, 100%. So now we get to Adebayo and Judomaster, and I think this is where they're really talking about Peacemaker. You know what I mean? And she's really endorsing Peacemaker and letting him know that Peacemaker is not the person who you think he is. And listen, as much as I love some of John Cena's acting in these last couple of episodes, Adebayo steals the show.
Dude, Danielle Brooks stole every scene that she was in. Like, I didn't like episode 8, but I loved everything about her. And I think I told you that every scene that she was in, I loved. Because she is a real actress. She really carried the emotion. She's our real connection to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
She's the linchpin. I know she's calling Chris the linchpin, but it's really her.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. She's doing an absolute great job of what she's doing in this show. So I give her that. I'm not a big fan of Judomaster.
Me either.
You know what I mean? I'm not a big fan of him, but Adebayo steals that scene. And I think she steals a lot of the scenes that she has going forward, So anyways, we get back to the house. Peacemaker and Harcourt get back to the house. They still have Economist tied up, right? And this is where they're having the conversation where they're asking Peacemaker why he came here, what happened, and he just tells everything. He explains that he did not mean to kill his version of himself. He didn't mean to kill all these people, and the father believes him. Now the brother kind of has a little bit of issue because he's like, you kill my brother and I want to kill you type of thing, right? And I think this is where we talked about a little bit of the difference between the two. But I thought this was a good scene. What do you think?
It also highlighted again, the father Augie's feelings, the understanding of who his son was. And that he has a level head about everything. He understands. He has more experience. He understands how he needs to handle it. It surprises Chris, and also makes Chris kind of fall for him again. Like, you know, that's he's a
Mhm.
good man again. And every bit is just getting us to that point where we're realizing that Augie's probably a good guy. You know, he's not the
Yeah.
white dragon, anything like the white dragon that we had in our world.
Mhm. And I think
Or
that's
blue dragon,
why
sorry.
that yeah, yes, it's okay. And I think that's what makes it so great, right? Because you think that he's gonna be an asshole in this world too, and he's not, right?
Mhm.
And because of the way he was in season one, you just assume that. I think we all did assume that, and he's not, right? He's not the one. He just says, you know, they're trying to survive and anything. So I think that was great. But then we get to the part Brian was talking about where the right privilege happens because the police come knocking on the door and they're looking for Peacemaker because they're saying a bunch of cops just died and the last person on the scene was Peacemaker. And Auggie says, you need to get a warrant. You need to
Mhm.
get off of my steps and never and don't come back unless you got one and close
Mhm.
the door on him. So yeah, like Brian said, yeah, that wasn't
I
happening.
could try that right now, guys. I'll be in jail. Maybe.
Facts.
Or I'll be getting choked out. One or the other.
And then we have Vigilantes 1 and 2,
Dumb
Adebayo
and
and
Dumber.
Judomaster. Yeah, 100%. And they're pretty much trying to figure out how they're going to get into the house. They're talking about killing people. And Adebayo's like, can we try and get in here without killing people right away? Right? And of course, you know, they we see what happens, right?
Yes.
But we cut back to the house, and I guess Augie and what's his name? The
Keith.
brother's name? Keith.
Mhm.
Keith are pretty much telling them that we got to send you back through that door, right? Because they don't want people to know about the door, right? They've
Mhm.
known about the door. Augie's traveled through that door. I'm pretty sure Keith have went through other worlds too as well,
I don't
because
Yeah,
Augie
because he
has
talked
went.
about that. He talked about the chitterers, or he's talked about some of
Yeah,
the other worlds that in there.
yeah, yeah. Augie said he went to another world where I think he seen himself and he was a piece of shit or something like that, you know? So, but Keith is not really enjoying or
No, I mean
messing with them.
he's a mess. He doesn't like his brother being dead. He doesn't
Hmm.
trust him, but he's literally like a dog on a leash. He's only
Hmm.
listening because it's his father.
Hmm. Yep. And then
This is
we
a good
get
scene,
this.
man.
World a better place than when I came.
And we get Vigilante jumping through the window and killing Augie.
Stupid.
And dumb. So dumb.
That is the most deep blue sea scene I've ever seen right there. Samuel Jackson,
100%, bro.
we're not going to take this anymore. We'll come together. And the shark ate him. It ate him.
100%, bro. Now, the vigilante that did it, it was this world's vigilante, right? Because I don't think
It's
they
our
ever.
world's
It was
vigilante.
our world's vigilante
Yeah.
that did it. Okay.
The world they come from is the one that
Yeah,
did
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Peacemaker's vigilante. Okay, I wasn't sure which one it was because he's like, oh, we had Conomos tied up there, so that was his excuse for doing it. But all hell breaks loose now because the cops end up breaking in, so they have to fight the cops. And you know, Keith, who gets upset, decides, you know, I'm going after Peacemaker because Peacemaker killed my brother, and now
Mhm.
because of him, my father is dead.
Mhm. And it's funny because you
So
look at
they have
Chris
a
is not
history.
fighting back. He's not fighting back
Yeah, yeah. Peacemaker is not fighting back at all.
because he believes he
But
deserves this beating.
hmm but now
Eagly, who's
everybody,
Eagly's a bad bird. You know,
yeah,
how's an eagle body slam a dude? Explain it
facts.
to me.
Facts, because everybody jumps on him and pretty much is starting to beat him to death. And then we get
Get off him! Get off him, please!
I will tell you that this was some of the best John Cena acting I have ever seen. So good in
I don't
this
know, man. He's
moment.
getting better and better. Honestly,
100%. 100%. And then he gives us the
What's wrong with us? What the fuck is wrong with all of us?
And you know what? I'll say this because John Cena, as he he was doing a lot of comedy stuff. And then he started doing like some serious stuff, but he can go back to like his range is getting really good because he could do serious stuff, he could do comedy stuff. I think John Cena,
You believe the
he
dramatic roles right now. You believe that
yeah,
he can do it.
yeah, he definitely put in the work to get better. Because you go back to his early stuff, he was
He was
trash.
terrible.
He was horrible. He ends up saying right here.
This is not your world. This is me. Everything I touch. This is not your world. It's wrong or mine. It's me.
It's just me.
Fuck.
I mean, at the beginning of his career, he would not have been able to do that.
No,
Hey,
but
what's up,
he
Mike? How's it going?
He became that character. I mean, in that moment, you felt like he was actually Peacemaker.
Yep. Mike said the answer is no. Answer is no to what?
The Peacemaker dropped the ball.
Oh, really? Huh. Yes, it did. 100% it did. I'm sorry. Yes, it did, Mike. Yes, it did. It dropped the fucking ball because that last episode was a 100% stinker.
But episode
Stinker.
7 is great. I really
Yes.
this
Yes,
episode, this
is
penultimate, excellent.
But this is the episode that should have been the finale. You know what I mean? Because we get this Peacemaker and Adebayo, they all go back to their world, right? And at the end, we see his brother is still alive, and you can tell that is the beginning
Of a supervillain.
of a supervillain. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
This reminds you
And
like a Joker being dropped into the wax tanks, whatever. This is all those things that happen, those horrible things that happen, or Harvey becoming Two-Face. This is that type of feeling.
Absolutely. And then we get Peacemaker getting back to his world. And as soon as they get out there, Argus is outside. He gives them the portal and tells them that Harcourt and everybody came there so that they could convince him to turn himself in, which is what he does. And the episode ends there. And I was like, great freaking episode. I cannot wait to see the final episode.
Well, it's not
And
just
then
you. James Gunn came and said, episode 8 is the greatest episode I've ever done. It is so good. I can't believe, I can't wait. When you guys see it, it's going to change your whole world. All right. Stop hyping yourself. James Gunn, stop doing that. If you didn't say all those things, I don't think people would have hated this episode as much.
Facts. And you know what? To be honest with you, I still would have hated it. But you know me, I still would have hated it because, again, for me, it's like it felt like it was just this music video. You know what I mean? And I wasn't feeling it. Hey, where the hell is this thing moving? Okay. There we go. There. That's better. Stupid thing. And we get into the episode 8, which is called Full Nelson. And first off, what are your thoughts on this episode, Brian?
So episode 8 or episode 7? Because my last thoughts
last thoughts on episode 7. Go ahead.
So last thoughts on episode 7. I think they did a great job of penultimate is supposed to like really galvanize everything. So you're getting to a point where you can wrap up the storylines. You feel for it. It was entertaining. It was exciting. There was action. There was feeling. You felt all those things in this one episode. So when you're thinking that coming past this next episode, and you see it's like 57 minutes long, this should be great. So coming off of episode 7, going to episode 8, this is going to be great. And James Gunn's telling me all the great things about this episode. So I'm sitting down. I moved everything out the way. I was like, look, all I'm doing is paying attention to Peacemaker. I cannot wait for this episode. So I'm sitting there, hit play, and this is what we get. Yep.
Mike said, why do people pay attention to anything anyone says? I don't get it.
Because
they're the directors, they're the creators.
He's the leader of the damn DC
Yeah,
Studios.
100%.
He's the studio leader. How about he just don't say nothing?
100%. I would have definitely listened to him too. But again, like I said earlier in the beginning of the show, that's not the reason why I didn't like this episode. I just thought that nothing happens in this episode, like really and truly, right? Because it starts off with a flashback, and it starts off with a flashback to Harcourt and Peacemaker having a nice dinner. And then,
We
you
finally
know,
go see what happened on that boat that he's talking about.
absolutely. And we find out that Harcourt still, is trying to fight, right? Because she still wants to fight anybody. And Peacemaker pretty much says, listen, why are we fighting? We should have a great night. It's a good little scene where pretty much they're just showing, that they kind of had something going. And then they go to the concert, and pretty much we get to what happens at the concert. But what are your thoughts of the opening scene, Brian?
I thought we started to see the chemistry that Peacemaker and Harcourt had. I thought that was interesting. I don't know if I wanted it in my last finale, my last episode, but I thought it was interesting to see that, and then see that how he tries to make her better, and it seems like he can make her better, and that they can go on with their relationship going forward. And so that this made I was intrigued by the opening scene of it.
And Mike said, the only time I care about what Gunn says is when he disapproves bullshit that people try saying on the internet. As far as hype, I pay it no mind.
Well,
Yeah, I get you.
If Kevin Feige came out today and said, I promise you, Endgame is or Doomsday is the greatest movie of all time, and then it turned out to not be a great movie, you would have a problem with it, because he's the leader of the damn studio. That's who James Gunn is. He's the leader of the studio.
100%.
He should shut the hell up and just let his work work for himself. People want to be good, but if you think about Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is a good movie, and the only reason that people don't like it is because they're expecting this stupendous things coming out. They want Tom Cruise coming out. We had all these cameos. If it wasn't anything for all that, we would have enjoyed the movie for as it was. But when you put the hype along with it, it ruins it. You can't do it because you can't match that hype.
Yes. And you're 100% correct, because a lot of people don't like Multiverse of Madness. I think it's really good. I like the problem that people have, and they always have the same complaint, where it's like, oh, you brought the Illuminati in there just to kill them, but that's what they were there for, right? Let's not get it twisted. They weren't there to be this major part of the movie. They were there to die. And when you go watch Doomsday, you're going to see a lot of these characters that are just there to die.
But if you wouldn't have told everyone we're going to have Tom Cruise, if we're not going to tell me that we're going to have, I want to have this is the real Mr. Fantastic. If we're not going to have all these characters, we thought all these cameos going to happen. If you didn't hear that, you wouldn't have gone in with thinking this is going to be the greatest movie of all time, and then you would have appreciated the movie for what it was, a really good movie.
I agreed. He said, nah, you need a hype guy. I get that, but it could go the other way too. The finale tied up storylines and laid out new ones for the future. I was satisfied. You see, that it did, but the problem is that shouldn't be the full focus of your last episode.
That should be your last 10 minutes of your episode.
Yeah, exactly.
That should be
100%. 100%. It seems like nobody really knows how to do multiverse. I'd say James Gunn is doing it.
No, I'm gonna say
this. I want to say more. I want to see more.
I'm gonna say James. I like James Gunn's direction. I just don't like the fact that James Gunn can't be too serious for too long. He has to break it with some type of stupid comedy.
Absolutely, 100%.
Not just regular comedy, but stupid stuff, like for no reason.
Because I think we kind of skipped it, or is it? No, I think it's this episode, right, where they're doing tell him a joke,
or going into all these stupid worlds, and there's some of this stuff is just so stupid, so idiotic. Why am I spending 20 minutes of the episode going to these different worlds that I'm never going to have to worry about again,
right? You know what I mean? And the one I'm like, like I think this one looks cool and like, oh, that'd be interesting. We don't see nothing. We just open up the door and like, hey guys, we're getting this. But this is what happens in this episode. They're pretty much open the portal. And the fact that anybody can just open the portal, like Peacemaker had to put these little balls together and everything. And it's just like, oh yeah, we know how to do it. Let's do this. Opens up the portal. Wait, what? Maybe if you just opened it and the portal popped up or something like that, pressed an on button, okay. But
we had a shock, sonic boom. You had things getting blown out windows and everything. He just opened it up. Whatever, let's go. It's stable.
It was. I guess it's not that hard to know the combination, right? Because if that's the case, then when Peacemaker actually opened up the second time, right, he's like, oh, I think I remember the combination, right? Adebayo sees it one time. She remembers the combination. And then Rick Flag and them don't even get the combination, and they know how to open up the portal.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I mean? Like, come on now. But that's just a little nitpick, but that was something there. So they go into these worlds, and you see, this was a part that annoyed the hell out of me too. This stupid story. Yeah, and they're talking about, he went to a stripper, and he got in. And you wonder what happened? He threw up on the stripper and stuff like that. I was like, bro, this is the banter. This is the stuff that James Gunn is Taika Waititi in the show. No, don't do this. Don't do this. You got to hold back on some of these things. And these are conversations to me that I don't see people fucking having when they're doing a serious mission like this. You know what I mean?
He's trying to put comedy in with it. He's trying to catch that same Guardians of the Galaxy feeling.
Yes.
And when you're intentionally doing it, it doesn't work. It doesn't hit the same way.
Absolutely. 100%. I agree. But we get to this world, and I was like, wait, Candyland world? What are we doing here? But then we get one of these little golems, I think they call them, or some crap.
Yeah, they did set this up at the beginning of this season.
What's that?
They set this up at the beginning of the season. They're talking about this.
Yeah.
Seeing it, I guess I understand why they put this in. But you do realize right now, if you look at your time, this is now 18 minutes. Like,
yeah.
And there's still more of going through these worlds. And I just think it was a little bit too much of doing it. You could have got the same understanding of it with a 5-minute little sequence instead of doing this for prolonging it to make an episode longer when you could have done other things that we really want to know more about.
Yes, 100%. And then not to that, right? If you're gonna do that, you do more of this, then at least give us something where they go into a world and some bullshit happens. But after this, it's just them opening up a door, they see some things, and then they do a montage of people getting pulled out dying. Right. And you know what I mean? Like, we don't see any of it anymore. It's just these little montages. And I was just like, okay.
But and the whole point of all this whole thing was about understanding that something's different about Rick Flag Sr.
Yeah.
And he's associating himself from all the stuff that's going on, and he doesn't care about them anymore. So I think they did all that for that point. But I think they did a little bit too long.
Absolutely. And then we get one of our first real emotional moments, I guess you want to say it, where Adebayo is talking to Vigilante, and she's trying to convince him to use the money to get Peacemaker out of jail. He's like, no, this is blood money. It's blood money. And then she Jedi mind tricks him and is like, well, I guess you're not Peacemaker's real friend. You're not his best friend. And of course it works. And Vigilante decides to use the money to help get Peacemaker out of jail. Now, I think there are a little bit more or better emotional spots than that one. But what do you think of that conversation?
She shows that she has a connection to everybody. She knows how. She's a real leader. A real leader knows how to get the best out of all your people. So even though we know Adrian is crazy and nuts overall, she knows how to get the best out of him, and she's got a plan for this money. She can use this money for good, and I think she even explained it that way. But she's the real leader. As I said, the real linchpin is Adebayo. And that's what Ads is, and that's what makes her special. And then that's kind of gives us seeds into why she has that conversation with her girlfriend.
And to be honest with you, it seems like she is like the heart and soul of the team because she pretty much knows everything about most of the people, how to get their skins under their skin and everything and manipulate them, because that's what she did to him. But then they end up going to see Peacemaker, which he doesn't want to see anybody, but they end up letting him out of jail. They go back to the house. And wait, does this part to go to the house? No. Okay, so
the cocaine.
yeah, we see in Rick Flag and his crew, and they're watching people die, but their rest of Lex Luthor's crew. Let me mute that music because Peacemaker
Chris
went to a
got
hotel.
Out. He got out, and they're sitting there watching people die doing cocaine.
Mm-hmm. And Otis is the only one that's really kind of like, what are you guys doing? You know what I mean?
Because he's
Now,
black, he can do that.
We get that world there, which I thought I would have seen more of this world. Like, okay, I would have liked to see more of that, but they didn't show nothing.
I appreciate it. I appreciate seeing this because Tim Meadows said, "Nah, bro, I'm black. The blackness in me won't allow me to go in that. No, just letting you know. I know I say a lot of stupid stuff, but the blackness in me just won't allow me to open that door. We're gonna close this one real quick."
What'd you think of the zombie world?
I think I would have liked to see more of this, especially after we the whole Marvel Zombies thing. That would have been really interesting that they had a little bit longer of that in that world.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, at least if you would have had a little bit more in some of these worlds, I'd have been like, okay, at least you're giving us something. But again, I still would have had the problem with the, like I said, no main real villain. I think that's the most problem that I have.
Why are they going to these worlds without protection, without like a gun? If you don't want a gun, a sword or a knife or anything. Why am I punching a zombie in the face with my fist?
Makes no sense whatsoever, But this is where we see people dying and we see Rick Flag not really caring, but we find out that Sasha Bordeaux, she kind of
she
feeling
feels
it,
a certain type of way. And as she's laughing about this, and she's pulling all her crew and the people that she works with out from death, she feels a certain type of way. But also during all this time, there's still music going on. It's still like a music video as we're going on all this time.
Yes.
Time for this to happen.
Yes, and that was a major issue too. We had so many musical montages in this one. You should have just made it a video, a music video. You know what I mean? And have a little bit of talking sprinkled around because everything was a musical montage, man.
2 music videos, a little bit talking.
Right there again, like it's like you can't even play it because you're gonna copyright for the music, So they finally find
the whole Clayface, thing. I 100% think that this is what's really happening with Rick Flag.
I could see that. I hope it's something they do that, because if they don't do that, I just think this switch is too quick and stupid. Yeah. Because they open up and they finally find the world, and this is the world that I guess, which James Gunn was saying, major things are going to happen in the Peacemaker finale, and this was the major thing that we got this world. What did they call it?
What starts with an E?
What did they call this world? Yeah.
This is it. We got it.
Got what exactly, General? Sorry, I mean Rick.
What?
You wanted me to call you Rick, not General.
Yeah, right.
So he doesn't remember that. Remember?
Yeah.
He doesn't remember this, So that makes me feel like that's not him.
Yeah. You're right.
What's it for?
This is great work, Amelia.
Doesn't tell them, but they have. Okay, I think here's where Salvation. That's
the name of the comic book. Salvation.
Yeah. Salvation.
Mm-hmm.
Salvation.
Well, thank you, Mike. Yes, that's it.
Yeah. You're slow, Mike. You seen us looking for the thing for like 5 minutes, and now you want to put it in there? Come on, bro. You the comic book guy. You should have been right away when I asked that question. Boom. I should have seen that answer there. I shouldn't even have had to look for it. You're slipping, Mike. You're slipping, bro. Yeah, so salvation, and this was the main point because, like I said, this is where James Gunn is really, I guess, going to go with, because they plan to put all of their metahumans there, right? So it's not just going to be, the bad metahumans or anything like that. They want to get, at least Lex wants to get rid of all the metahumans, and they want to do that by sending them to this world
Well,
because
this
they
is
won't be
another
able to get out of
interesting
it.
thing. So Rick Flag did Lex's plan exactly. So he
Yeah.
didn't change anything anymore. So this is another thing that kind of makes you think that this might be someone else pretending to be Rick Flag, or because he's doing exactly Lex's plan. He's not enhancing it with his own thing. So it could easily be Clayface doing this for Lex.
Yeah, I agree.
It makes too
Mike
much
says, slow, that's been up there since y'all last. My bad. I didn't see it. So it just popped up when I clicked back over. And I'm even multitasking over here by watching this Law show after SmackDown. I got you. I got you. All right. Well, I appreciate you. You know what I mean? I appreciate you 100%. Because whenever you come over here, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to tell you guys how it is, that the Batman is trash, that the Nolan movies are
Okay.
trash, that the
Yeah, I mean, you can
Penguin
be
is
wrong.
trash.
You can be
I'm
wrong, and it's
gonna tell
okay.
you how it is.
I can't tell you guys too much, but when I get to control the rewind again, I'm heating him so bad. I got all type
Listen,
of AI stuff. I got it all. I've been
listen,
working on it. You should never
listen,
give me this stuff.
listen.
Guys, I was wrong. Bigger Ford is always right.
I mean, the proof is in the pudding, right? The proof is in the pudding. I'm just saying. But thank you for letting me know that you had some AI stuff ready for me, because now I'm gonna have to make some new ones. All right, so we can just do it like that. That's fine. Uh, so we have Harcourt. Was that?
So you will see what's going to happen to you. You're gonna be amazed. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be me. I got a whole army of people. Army.
I'm waiting. Let's do it. So we have Hardcore, and Hardcore ends up meeting with Sasha, and they probably have an understanding because Sasha's pretty much telling him that she doesn't like what Rick Flag is doing. And, she was pretty much sleeping with Rick Flag. But then she says, I have someone I want you to meet. And then they meet up with Adebayo. And again, that goes to your point to where it's like everybody trusts Adebayo, right?
He's the
If
leader.
it's
She's the
yeah,
real one, the one
yeah,
who's
yeah.
the one who controls all the stuff that even gets Chris to believe in himself. She's saying it's Chris that's the real linchpin, but it's all her. She
Yeah.
is the one that everyone trusts. And now that Chris is gone and he's in Salvation, which is an unbelievable storyline. Now I think about it, because I mean you're gonna get all type of villains. Oh my god, it's going to be crazy when I think about the Salvation storyline. But yeah, she is everything that's good about this whole thing. It all starts with
100%.
Adebayo.
And guess what, guys? We get another music montage, right? So we have them meeting up, and then Hardcore's washing. She looks in her pocket and she sees the ticket for the Nelson, and then she starts to reminisce. And we go back to the concert of Nelson, and blah 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 blah, and yeah, a whole musical montage again.
He really likes him. He really likes this music. I mean,
It's something that James Gunn has said, and I think it was in the interview. Do you remember the interview where he talked about, and he didn't say The Rock's name, but he talked about how someone tried to take over DC? It was that first interview he had or
yep.
something like that, right? In that interview, he talks about how he knows music. He's like, yeah, I love music and I know music, and that's he said that's his thing. That's his niche, which is the music part of it. And
And I mean, honestly, usually I like his music. I do. I
yeah,
think it fits what it was, but I felt like it's too much. You did too much.
yeah.
I feel like this is you say he's going too far as James Gunn. I think James Gunn needs to be running the studio. He understands good storylines and all that stuff, but he doesn't need to be directing everything.
And here's the thing, and God, I hate that I gotta say this, but I gotta say it, right? Because what happened when we seen the original Star Wars. George Lucas had some people that was keeping him in check with certain
100%.
things. When we got to the prequels, there was nobody to keep him in check, so he did whatever he wanted to do.
He went
I
too
think
far.
this is what we're seeing with James Gunn right now. Nobody's keeping him in check, and he's going too far, right? Because if you gotta go on an interview and defend why you think people don't like this episode, then you did something wrong.
Can you just trust that maybe you didn't do something right? Because
Exactly.
he believes in it so much that he doesn't even want to. No, you guys are wrong. You just don't know what you're talking about. You don't understand what's going to happen with this. Like, no, we're telling you that it's not a good ending. It's not a good finale. And when you have bad finales, it ruins a lot of seasons. It's just what it is.
100%. And I told you this, and I'm going to start to continue to say it, that usually we go through our round tables and we talk about a show, and episodes are good, and this is good, and that, and then the show drops the ball. And I think I'm going to stop giving the show a lot of the credit that I did, because you got to stick the landing. At this point, we see so many shows that have stuck the landing, and they stick it to a way where you silo Severance from, right? Every season is stuck the landing. Everyone, final stuck the landing to where it's like, come on, bro, we need to get these seasons going again, And I think if you don't stick the landing, it should, like, let's say you say the series is a B, but you don't stick the landing, it should drop to like a B minus, maybe a C,
I
right?
think
You
it
didn't
goes down
stick
to
the
C.
landing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You didn't
I
stick the
agree.
landing. So, and I think that's where I'm headed to right now. Hunter Iggy said, Bigger Four, did you see the Lanterns hate say series 1? No. Well, they're gonna hate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not Hal Jordan. They're gonna hate, right? I do think that shit. What's the name? The black one's name is slipping my
Jon
mind right
Stewart.
now. That's it. Thank you. I think
Mm.
Jon Stewart is a little bit more popular than Hal Jordan now, right? Just
Jon
like I
Stewart's
think,
my Green Lantern.
right,
Of
right.
my
Just like
generation.
just like Miles Morales is this generation Spider-Man. It's not Peter Parker.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Peter Parker was our Spider-Man. Now this generation, my son's generation, is Miles Morales. So I think that's where it is. But I think a lot of people still
Oh,
uh,
Hat. Okay.
oh, I meant hat. I got you.
I haven't
Did you
seen
see
it.
the lantern hat? No, I didn't. Did not. So we get another moment, another montage, and then we get this moment. I'm gonna let Brian talk about this moment because I can't lie, I
You didn't
skipped
like this much. So I thought this was really interesting as a personal moment. She started to have a revelation to understand that, though I can love someone, maybe we're not meant to be together, because if we do the life that I want to live, you're never going to be happy. And if we do the life that you want to live, I would never be happy. So as much as I love you or anything like that, we can't be together. And I understand that. And she had a real serious conversation about that. And
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter who it's between, but I think that's something that it's more of a maturity understanding, because sometimes you have that, and you have to understand that not all relationships are meant to last forever. Sometimes as you grow older, hey, we not going to go the same way. And I thought that was
Mm-hmm.
really interesting. But once again, Danielle Brooks shows how good of an actress she is,
Yeah.
and describing these things. And I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a really good moment.
Yeah. I just was like, at this point, I was beginning to check out of the show because I was like, okay, no, let me just skip it and move on to the next one, because I already knew it. Like, they're gonna have the conversation and they're gonna break up. I was like, I know they're gonna break up. I don't need to hear it. I'm good. I'll pass it. I get it. 100%. She probably killed the scene. I believe she did. I just didn't care. I didn't care. But then we get to this scene, which I was talking about earlier, which drove me up a freaking wall. This was so dumb. absolutely stupid where we get Economos and she's like, oh, keep them distracted. And he's standing there trying to tell one hell of a stupid joke. And these people are sitting there acting like, huh? What? What are you talking about? And like, you don't know what the fuck he's doing?
Yeah, no, this is being stupid. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this was the
That's something I don't like.
James Gunn,
That's stuff I
Taika Waititi, caca stuff. Mike said hater. Sorry, Mike. You know me already. I'm gonna come hard, you know? And
That's stuff I don't like
this
too. So I can't argue with you because I just don't like when you do this. Because it's so stupid. It's like you're trying to show how smart you are. Like, hey, you see this?
mm-hmm,
You see
mm-hmm,
what I did there? Oh, that's so
mm-hmm,
funny.
mm-hmm.
It's not, bro.
You make every single buddy in this scene look dumb, right? These are supposed to be nerd smart guys or whatever, but everybody is just so freaking dumb. Like they all stopped what they were fucking doing to listen to this stupid ass joke, which he couldn't even tell, right? Not one person decided to look back at their, you know what I mean? Like you sit in the office with people, right? People are talking in there, whatever, and you ain't paying attention. There's a girl on the other side of the room, and she stops what she's doing to listen to economists. Like nobody ends up looking at their monitors anymore because this guy's standing up. Like, nah, bro. I was like, this is Taika Waititi shit, and I just didn't like it. I thought it was really annoying. You know what I mean? Because he does tell the joke, then he goes back, and I was just like, nope, skip. I'm done. So we find out they get to where Peacemaker is. They get to the hotel. Vigilante comes out and tases him, and they're like, "Well, why'd you tase him?" We're like, "Oh,
And
we
why'd you
thought
do that
that."
again? Yeah, did it again.
Yeah. Now we get this emotional scene, which I
Mhm.
watch. This one was good, right? Where she's pretty much telling Peacemaker, "It's because of you who I am,
I know who I
and
am because of who you are and how your love I feel. And I know you love
yes,
me. And there's no doubts. And I could be a
yes,
stronger me because of you.
yes." And she's crying and letting her heart out, and it was good. It was good.
When I'm around you, I feel loved. You're big and you're stupid, but I know you love me. And I don't know if I can say that about anybody else in this world.
Dude, you're my best friend. I don't want to do cool shit without you.
And then Harcourt, she says her piece saying that she needs them, and then everybody. And then as they're walking out, Peacemaker's still kind of,
She's like,
in his.
she's like the same thing when she goes,
I'm not right.
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
asking for anything. I just want to know if it meant something to you at all.
Of course it did. Fucking asshole, it meant everything.
And he finally gets
yes, I did it.
what he needs, and gets back into the room. We have a little somber moment. Then he starts dancing and going off, and
Look,
we get an
I've danced because of a girl said she she liked me before too.
100%. 100%.
So I'm not going to sit here and hate
Oh,
on
100%. 100%. Yeah. I felt it. I was like, good for you. You know what I mean? He got what he wanted to. Absolutely.
I would.
So
I always push the envelope a little bit more though. I wouldn't just be walking close the door. I was like, oh, really?
you want to come in for a drink?
Exactly.
Hold on. Come inside
Why
here
don't we
for a
come talk
second.
about this? Let's just discuss it. Tell me your feelings. I care.
And then
close the deal.
Unfortunately, we get another freaking music montage. And this music montage goes to them creating Checkmate, which is a group that all of them are together. So it's Peacemaker, it's Hardcore, it's Sasha, it's Tim Meadows guy, it's Judomaster, Peacemaker, and Economos. So they decided that they're going to create their crew. And you have Tim Meadows guy, whatever his name is, can't remember, but he's having a conversation with Vigilante where they're doing and Vigilantes, I'll finally get someone to quiz him, and Tim Meadow guy is doing what he needs to do. Now, someone made a good point that I seen in a video, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it. Someone said that Tim Meadows could possibly be Martian Manhunter.
I sure hope not. Because I mean, I don't know if you guys was it John? John is very serious, straightforward. John is really straightforward, like he is, but he's very serious about it. So if you make John Tim Meadows, oh fuck, I will be pissed.
The reason why someone, I think it was a video I watched where someone said that reason why they said that is because of all the, I can't tell birds apart and all kinds of stuff like that would kind of make sense if he wasn't a human. Then that makes sense, right? Because when we talk about like that's stupid, that's some dumb shit to say.
John is one of the smartest things in all of the universe. You tell he can't tell a fucking human.
I know. No, bro, I get it. But I'm just saying that something like that would make more sense than it just being some regular fucking human who's been on this planet his whole life and can't tell the difference between a couple of birds. You know what I mean?
That would piss me off I get so much. It would make me so mad. I'll be so angry. I'm like, really? This is what we're gonna do, guys?
Then we get the scene with Eagly, where Eagly puts his hand on Economist's shoulders, gives him a hug. It's like, oh, that's so sweet. But just like, listen, look at this. This musical montage freaking starts at where does it start? Let's go back.
I mean, the first one or the second? I mean, there's
this last one now. Right? This last one starts pretty much here because you see the music playing. He starts to dance, right? So that's at 58 minutes, right? We get a little break in between here, but then it goes back to the montage and doesn't fucking stop until 53.
Yeah, it's another 5 minutes. They do 5 minutes, 10 minutes before the end. So it's like 20 minutes of music video stuff. Yeah, it really is.
You know what I mean? I'm like,
it says music continues at the bottom of the screen right there. So you know,
yeah, exactly. Right. But this is where we get to the end where they pick up Peacemaker as he's going into his hotel room. They tase him. They bring him to this place where I guess
Argus, whatever.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's Argus because
this is where they're still doing all the
experiments and stuff
right
like
there. So it had to be Argus.
Yeah. So they grab Peacemaker and they decide they're going to put him in the world that they created. And he says, "This is for my son, F you." Now, the only thing that I noticed, and I think they don't really show it, but someone froze it, where Sasha is in this room, right? So Sasha knows what happened to Peacemaker. So at least that's what they said in the video. I didn't see her.
I didn't see
they said
her
she
at
was.
all.
They said she was there, right? So I don't know. But if she's there, then it kind of makes sense. Let me see if I can find it.
Let's play from the beginning and see if you can pause.
Yeah.
Turn the music off so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. I think. Hold on. Back up a bit. Because I remember when I saw the video, they showed like one of these scenes here. I think they were saying that that's her, but that's not her. No, that's not her. That's not her. I can't remember what video it was. I think it was like an emergency awesome video or something like that, and they said she was there, but no, it doesn't look like she is because we get to see these.
We see all of
here.
them.
Yeah. So it doesn't look like she's there. Now, it's possible that she could still be playing a double agent where she's working with A.R.G.U.S still, but a part of Checkmate, and they don't know. But it pretty much ends with, Rick Flag saying, "This is for my son," and F you, Peacemaker. Peacemaker tries to jump through the portal. It disappears, and then we hear... hear some growling and stuff before the credits run.
This, once again, the idea is great. As Mike just said, It's this Planet Salvation, you know. So the Salvation Run comic, if I'm correct, is the one where Planet Salvation is actually Darkseid's training ground for trying to find the new god of Apocalypse. I think is what. So he's trying to see who's the baddest of everyone, to see who's going to be the new lieutenant, and who's going to oversee all that stuff. So it's everyone's like fighting each other to become that next guy, you know, a god basically for Darkseid. So that's the whole point of all this stuff. So you're gonna have all the worst of the worst on this planet. So it's a good thought process. This is a good comic book run. I just hated the way he did it in this entire episode. I thought 20 minutes of music is too long. I didn't like the way he kind of formed the episode. I think it was kind of disjointed, and because so much music, it felt out of place in a lot of places. And I don't think we got a good story. I think they should have done a story of a finale in the last 10-15 minutes, do all this stuff, because you could have easily done everything we just got without the 20 minutes of music
100%.
in the last 10-15 minutes. If you would have done that, I think it's a better overall. I don't think he knows how to put things together the right way. He has great ideas. I think this idea is a good one. It really works. Planet Salvation is good. Setting up Checkmate is really good. Those things are great. He just doesn't know how to get there. You know,
absolutely. And I agree with you, because like you said, this is probably teasing Darkseid or something like that, you know, something big, right? They're saying Brainiac, right? Had a lot to do with Brainiac and this stuff too. So I think that's where it's coming from, which is fine, right? But now we know that there's not going to be a season 3. Now, what I think is he's trying to be coy. He's trying to say, yeah, there's not going to be a season 3, but we're going to get a season 1 of Checkmate. Peacemaker may not be the main focus of it, right? Because it's going to be an ensemble cast where everybody's going to probably be more equal. But I think it's still pretty much going to be like having a Peacemaker season 3, right? Because you're not going to leave it off like this, where it is, and you're not going to fix this in any of the movies. So the only way to fix it is by having Checkmate, season 1 of Checkmate. You know,
I agree. That makes a lot of sense. Having a new thing, a spinoff. Call it a spinoff of that. I like it.
Yeah. So it's not really having a Peacemaker season 3, but it kind of is, because it's going to continue where this left off, because you gave us Checkmate and then do nothing with it. Nah. So I don't see them.
I just don't know if they're going to have an opportunity to do this.
They might not. You know what I mean? They definitely might not, because we don't know what happened. And God forbid it's Netflix that buys it, because Netflix has a working relationship with Zack Snyder. You know what I mean? So they might just say, you know what? Give us Justice League. Now, I think that's a problem, because will Ben Affleck come back?
I want a Batfleck Batman movie so bad.
Yeah. No, I do really too. 100%. I do too. I think we should have had one, but it's like, will he come back, right? Will he want to get into the shape that he had to get into to play Batman in the first time? You know what I mean? Will he want to come back? You know, Henry Cavill. I'm pretty sure Henry Cavill will come back, because he ain't really doing much anything right now. So you know what I mean? Now he'll love to come back on that one.
No,
so
he ain't coming back to the DC. He's gonna be like, F y'all. Here's the thing. The reason why I don't think Netflix is going to be able to buy it, I think it's going to be bought by Paramount. You know, I think that's what's going. I mean, so if you guys looked up the richest people in the world, do you know who's the second richest person in the world? His name is Larry Ellison. Do you know who Larry Ellison does? What he does?
No, what does he do?
He owns Skydance. He owns Paramount.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He has over $350 billion. He could go buy Warner Brothers. He could by himself. He could go buy Warner Brothers and give him $80 billion if he wanted to. I think it's ranked. They say it's worth about $66 billion with all the IPs. He could go give him $70 billion today and go buy it. There's no other person that can buy this stuff. And why it's important for a TV company, Paramount, to buy this entity. I kind of talked about this yesterday. The TV companies can't compete with Amazon. They can't compete with Netflix. They can't compete with all these Fortune 500 companies, Apple. They can't compete with these tech industry people. They can't compete with them. There's not enough money there for them. So what only way they remain relevant is they basically become Voltron, and all 5 pieces come together. So you got Paramount, you got Peacock, you get all of them coming together, Warner Brothers, all that happens to be one. MGM, they try to buy all of them together so they could actually be relevant again, because they don't have the money to compete with these other companies. They just don't. So like the old guard all has to become one. And I can see Paramount under the same Paramount Skydance umbrella trying to get as many of a pot as possible. And once again, Larry Ellison has enough money. I do. I think Larry Ellison is going to offer him $72 billion, and they're going to say, I can't, for my shareholders, I can't turn down that money. $6 billion over what it's valued. Can't turn that money down.
I don't think it's going to get sold.
I hope it doesn't, because that means James Gunn will hold on to it. But Larry Ellison has too much money.
It's just,
what he got his money from? Oracle. He's the Oracle owner. This dude has money out of his ass. Like it's too much money available for him, and you can't turn down that type of money. I understand you turn down 40 billion, but turning down 70 or 80 billion when you only value at 66.
Yeah.
The board's going to say they're going to overrule you. They're going to say we're going to sell, because you could walk around, everyone becomes billionaires.
Yeah.
And the reason what I'm saying to me is, I'll tell you guys, if you guys have shares of Warner Brothers, go get shares of Warner Brothers, because your payout is going to be nuts.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. You know what I mean? Will James Gunn be able to keep it afloat, or will they go in a different route? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. But I know a lot of the stuff right now, if there's no sales, James Gunn is safe.
Yeah, 100%.
Carte blanche, do whatever he wants to. I don't think they care. But it's like you said.
If they sell,
let's say they don't sell it. Let's say they don't sell it. Supergirl comes out, it flops, right? Whatever else he comes out after that, it flops, right? That could be something that brings the value down even more. You know what I mean? So they just wait. We're like, okay, we'll see what you guys can do.
Also, when you do takeovers and you buy something and something loses money immediately, what do? You get rid of it.
Yeah.
100%. Cut it out. And that's
100%.
Cut him out real quick, guys. I don't know. I don't know if he stays, and hopefully it doesn't sell. That's why, because I'm not a James Gunn fan, but I think he has great ideas, and if he could become the idea man and let other people direct and produce his stuff, I think it'd be really good. I really do. I just don't know if he's going to have the opportunity.
Because I think James Gunn is doing what we worried he would do, and is making a lot of these movies like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Trying to catch lightning in the bottle too much. He's trying to make it all about him, instead of, when you run the studio, you are the master. You're the one who has all of it. You don't have to play in the box with everybody else. So you don't have to do all the work. It's like when you have a general manager, and I come and tell them, you can't do all the work. You have to spread it out. You have to delegate to other people. James Gunn doesn't want to delegate anyone right now.
And again, too, right? It seems like he's more interested in doing the Soup family than doing anything else, right? And even another thing that he's doing, and I can't remember what, I think I have it, but one of these movies he has an actor saying, and they're going to play an animal. So now he's bringing like animals into every single one of these damn movies too as well. And it's like, you don't have to make every single movie the same, bro. You know what I mean? You don't have to do that. And he's doing it, and it's driving me up a wall. It's really getting played out, getting played out. So what's your grades on this season? And then this episode?
I won't say this episode, I'm gonna give it a C-. I did not love this one. Because I think they could have done better. I think in just, you don't even have to refilm it. Just put it in a different order. Focus it on different stuff. Take some of the music montages out or limit it to 30 seconds. Then all of a sudden it gets better. But C- for what you put together. And overall the season, C+. C+ season. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I'm giving this last episode, I'm definitely giving it an F because I didn't like it. I just didn't like it at all. It was just like, it felt like, work watching it. Instead of enjoyment, it felt like work. It felt like, oh God, okay. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. So I'm giving this episode an F. But I will give the season in general a C-. I'll give it a C-. I won't give the whole season an F, but it definitely dropped it down to C-.
It had good parts. This entire season had good parts. I just don't know if when you don't kill it on the finale, it does hurt you.
But you know what also had a good episode?
What?
Acolyte.
I don't know if good. It had
one.
It didn't have a horrible episode. I don't know if it had a good episode. It just had an episode that wasn't the worst thing ever.
The fight was good. The fight was good. I give it that.
It was sloppy.
That fight, huh?
It was sloppy.
You found it sloppy?
Yeah, it was really. The fight part was sloppy. They could have done better.
I thought it was good. I thought it was done well. I thought they did at least a better job than most of the Disney stuff has done when it comes to the lightsaber battles.
That's like you're saying you're just the tallest little person. And you're 3'1".
Yeah.
Does it matter?
I think that's what. Now that I remember it, I think someone said that lightsaber battle was better than anything in Phantom Menace. I believe that's what someone said, or not Phantom Menace. Revenge of the Sith. No, it was not. No, it's not.
Bro. Revenge of the Sith is awesome.
No, it's not. No, it's not. But guys, thank you guys for popping in. Much appreciated. Make sure to check us out tomorrow morning at 10 EST for the rewind. We got a lot to talk about on that one. Mike, 10 EST, because I know you always pop in late and they're like, oh, you guys start so early. We're letting you know today, 10 EST. All right. So make sure to check that out.
You can't wake up. Just stay up. Just stay up. You don't have to sleep. Just stay up. Do what you're going to do all night and then don't go to sleep until after the show's over.
Facts, 100%. You know what I mean? Plus, you're old. You shouldn't be staying up late anyways, right? What are we doing here? I see you doing like freaking Fortnite streams at like 2 o'clock in the morning, bro. You too old for that, man. You need to get that sleep, bro. Yeah,
2 o'clock in the morning. Ain't no way I'm going to be but in bed.
You need to get that sleep, Mike. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you want to wake up to us in the morning. That's what I'm talking about. Brian, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
1/3 of Spoiler Kids to go live Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturday nights. But Saturday mornings, guys, you got to get your cereal, get your French toast, get your waffles, get ready. Come on, be here, 10 Eastern, 9 Central. Have fun with the rewind. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of good topics. We'll have great conversations, and you'll be part of it. So come on by.
100%.
Guys, I was wrong. Bigger Ford is always right.
There's no one.
That's Keith.